to play Yaa Asantewaa.
Has there been some films and productions made around Yaa Asantewaa?
Not yet.
Not really.
Not yet.
Yeah, same thing as Kwame Nkrumah.
Yeah,
we've talked about.
But that is a role.
Yeah.
Since I was a kid, I've always wanted to play that.
Do you think it will be like a Black Panther type film or Woman King type film if that came out? Even better.
It would be even better.
Hey everyone, I go by the name of Adrian Daniels, and if this is your first time listening, welcome to the Sound of Accra podcast. This is the show where we chat with top Ghanaian founders, entrepreneurs, and creatives worldwide with the aim of leaving you behind with meaningful takeaways that you can apply in life, business, and career. Just before we get into this episode, I would like you to know that for today's show notes, head over to thesoundofaccra.com/Aniwaa. That's ANNIWAA.
Yes, yeah? That is correct.
That's correct. So thesoundofaccra.com/Aniwaa. That's ANNIWAA. Got you. That's it. And whilst you're here, please hit like, subscribe, share the video, and please give us a 5-star review if you're listening on Spotify and Apple. So I'm joined, as you know, by Anniwaa Buachie, and she's an award-winning British-Ghanaian actress, filmmaker, and a writer. How are you doing? Thanks for coming on the show.
Thank you very much.
Thanks for coming on the show.
Lovely to see you. Thank you for having me on the show, and I'm excited to get going and chatting with you.
Absolutely. Thank you for coming to our third year anniversary as well, which was
great. That was really good.
Earlier in the week, which is really good to have you. Good
very brilliant. Great to be a part of your celebrations, and just looking forward to hearing more about the Sound of Accra and how you're expanding.
Thank you so much. Yes, I mean 2023. Hopefully, it's going to be a good year for us, and looking forward to hearing what you've got in store, which we'll get into towards the end of the episode.
Yeah.
All right. So, Anniwaa, look, for those that don't know you, of course, I've gotten to know you over the past few weeks or so. Just give the audience like an elevator 30 second pitch about like who you are.
So I'm a Ghanaian British filmmaker, actress, and just all round creative. I was born and raised in London. I have lived in LA, New York. I am someone that likes to travel a lot because I like to learn from lots of different people, lots of different environments. I'm like a sponge, so I absorb that and develop,
I like that
and develop work that always puts Black women to the forefront of the conversation.
Okay, great. Okay, cool. So I think you guys heard that from Anniwaa. International lady. Yeah. New York, LA, London, Ghana. Wow, I mean, it's quite something. But I think probably what takes you to America quite a lot is your acting.
Acting. I used to live in the States for about 6.5 years. I was very much interested, and still very much am, because this is what I do, in expanding my acting career so it goes beyond the UK border. I felt like in America there's more opportunities for Black people to play roles that are, you know, you're not just playing the mother on the council estate who the sons haven't like fallen in the wrong crowd. You know, there's roles where you can be a lawyer, you can you know, be a doctor and all of that kind of stuff.
Yeah, I mean, because you got Hollywood and the you know, a huge film and TV industry in America, right?
Yeah.
I mean, the UK is like a small little drop in the ocean compared to America, right? America's massive.
Exactly, and a lot of the times in America, there's more executive producers as well that aren't just white men.
Yeah.
Whereas in the UK, executive producers are predominantly white men.
Yeah.
So like it's like, you know, so you're having to convince those execs or commissioners to listen to your story or want to try and tell your story as a Black woman.
Yeah. And I just find it quite interesting as a British Ghanaian actor, or you could say like a Black British actor because of what I'm about to say. I just find it quite interesting about all of the British actors that have kind of broken into like, you know, the film and TV industry by going to America and shooting films there, like Daniel Kaluuya, I mean, Emil Amin. There's so many of them. So many of these actors. I'm sure there's more that I've missed as well. But there's so many of them that have gone to America, and once they've hit America, they've kind of been able to break into any kind of film or TV anywhere in the world. Why do you? Why, I mean, of course, America is actually they're the leaders, and that's where like the most commercial value is.
That's where pop culture is. That's
True.
where, like, you know, they like you said, money
Yeah.
talks there. They
Yeah.
have a lot of money that they invest in entertainment there.
Yeah.
So, and it is the entertainment capital in that sense when it comes to film and TV.
Mm. Okay, cool. All right, so let's get straight into it. So let's talk a bit about your kind of your resume in terms of TV, film, and producing or directing. Because of course you've been around different countries. Of course, I'm sure the obvious reasons is for your career and what you've been doing in the industry. Can you give us a quick run through of what you've been doing? I mean, I've seen your IMDb. I think it's quite impressive. Could you just share with the audience like some notable roles and productions or directorships that you've done?
So in the UK, I did, you know, there's a long time running show. I think it's been running now for maybe 60 years, I want to say, like EastEnders.
Good old EastEnders.
You know, I did Holby City.
Holby City.
Then, right, then when I went to the States, I did STARZ. Can't even remember now. It's been quite a while.
We'll have it in the show notes. So we'll have your IMDb, her IMDb in the show notes. So don't worry about that.
Well, I worked with like Tichina Arnold,
Nice.
Teyonah Parris.
Wonderful.
I've worked with Jonathan Rhys Davis. You know, in the States, I have kind of branched more into voice acting in terms of animation. So I'm currently working on X-Men at the moment, X-Men 97.
Wonderful.
Archer, which is a big classic. Everyone loves Archer.
I don't think I know it.
Archer is a big one on Netflix. Like I get a lot of people hitting me up saying, "Yeah,
they saw you in that.
I saw you in Archer." Yeah, yeah.
What is it?
What is it? Archer's like it's a satire of a guy that's kind of like James Bond, but he's so silly, and he's just like the people around him solve the cases. He's just like really doofus and that kind of stuff. Yeah,
that's quite. Where was it shot?
Where was it shot? So basically, when it comes to voice animation, a lot of the times you go into the studio and they record
this is voice animated. Okay, cool,
they record your voice. And then sometimes it's to match the animation, or sometimes the animation matches you.
Yeah, that's quite cool. Okay, cool. So this is on Netflix right now.
Yeah, Netflix.
And is this like a US production, UK production?
It's a US production. Okay, so a lot of the stuff that I'm doing at the moment is US based.
Yeah, I mean, that's where the money is, right?
Yeah, well, can't complain, you know. But of course, like last year, I produced and starred in a film by Emmy Award-winning writer Kwame Dawes called Moon Over Aburi, shot by a full Ghanaian cast. You know, it was shot in Ghana in Osu and also in Aburi. And yeah, it's doing really well on the festival circuit at the moment.
Okay, cool. Where can people see it, or where was it? Where was it shown?
So at the moment, what happens with the festival circuit is because it's just started its round, until it kind of does all the festivals, it won't be able to be screened. Cool. However, we have just been accepted into the Pan-African Film Festival, which is an Oscar qualifying festival.
Oh, nice.
Well, congratulations. Thank you, which will be happening in Los Angeles in February 2023.
Nice.
So if you happen to be in LA in February, then definitely you'll be able to see the film.
Wonderful, wonderful. I think it's really good to see a lot more kind of like Ghanaians or being involved in films which can have more visibility in like countries like America, or even end up on like a Netflix, an Amazon Prime Video, or like a what's the other one? I mean, Apple TV, whatever you call it. I actually went to a summit, not last year, but the year before, in 2021. And I think it was James Gardner. He was there. He was speaking about how difficult it is for African actors to kind of like break into the industry, because when you do a film here, usually it's just shown on like the few screens and that's about it. So it's limited to who you can reach. But I think what he was saying is that he feels like the narrative's changing because you have Netflix now. A lot more African films are being put into Netflix, and even Amazon, even Prime Video now is competing as well. So now he feels like there might be a change where finally the African films that can finally get the attention that they deserve, and even the money and the revenue that they deserve as well.
I feel like that's happening I feel like that's happening, but the focus always is on Nigeria and South Africa, and maybe Kenya. And with the tourism of Ghana, with the music and with the number of African Americans coming and enjoying, and what I feel now is that there needs to be a series that comes out from Ghana. And so Ghana is also a contender when it comes to the African film market and the streaming services. Is understandable because money talks, right?
Absolutely.
And because Nigeria is a big country, and there's a lot of people in Nigeria, and they have an established Nollywood, and of course with South Africa, there's an infrastructure and there's familiarity that a lot of Europeans have. So they tend to, or Europeans or Westerners have, so they tend to favor South Africa. With the East Africa, it's becoming the new tech hub as well. So now streamers are looking at that because then you can tie in, the fact that a lot of East African people are able to, have access to Wi-Fi to a certain extent, right? So hopefully this kind of speed or the development will reach to Ghana, but it also has to come from Ghanaians, the entertainment system here, to push for it.
True. Yeah, we do need all the help we can get, like from the government. I mean, the government, that's another conversation, but we need all the help we can get to get to get Ghana into the hat of those African films. Because when I search on Netflix, I'm seeing so many films produced in Nigeria or maybe South Africa, here and there,
which is brilliant,
which is great. But I mean, Ghana, I think there's potential for Ghana to be in there and we have so much potential in terms of like the films we can make and stuff. I mean, so many people want to make a Kwame Nkrumah film.
Oh God, don't even get
let's not even start on that one.
Let's not get it started.
That hasn't happened, but
because
this is what I mean.
It needs to happen.
It needs to happen.
It definitely needs to happen.
The Americans would do it. And then that's opportunity gone.
Definitely needs to happen.
So I mean, this is quite interesting. I mean, the experience you have in the acting, the different types of roles you've done. You've got quite a range of experience. What would you say that you like the most, or how would you kind of like differ acting versus writing versus producing and directing? And so you've done all of them, right? You've acted. Have you kind of produced? Have you directed?
I've acted. I've produced. I've directed a documentary. I've directed like some live theatre shows. And I have written. I've written as well. Wow. So what? I mean, acting's always been my soul, it's my heart. That's me. That's what I do. I've always been an actress. I've never deviated from that whatsoever. I've always known that's me from the get-go. But as you get further within the acting industry, it becomes apparent, especially when you're a woman, that there's only so much you can do because you're limited, because you're waiting on someone else to understand, or you're waiting for a story that speaks to you. And I'm someone where I can't wait like that. I like to be creative. So the whole writing, I kind of just fell into it because I was just like, okay, why am I waiting for? So I started writing, but in terms of,
a lot of sense.
Yeah, in terms of writing, it's like, I like to write short stories, and I would make like short films about the short stories. And so it's writing's a very personal thing, and I'm still at this stage where I'm still trying to find a way to put myself out there when it comes to it. I've written pilots, I've got co-writers as well that I write with, and that's something that I'm pushing to get my productions out there.
And I think what would you say is the general what would you say the general trend of people that start acting? Because usually what tends to happen is they start acting and then they start producing and directing and then writing. It's like I tend to see like a trend with actors. Like, for example, I know like Michael B. Jordan, he started to like, now he's trying to direct and produce his own films, where he was just acting a whole bunch of films. So I see a natural kind of like, progression where you move away from acting and you start, I want to start producing and directing and making, writing movies now. You understand? Because
you, as a producer, you have the opportunity to have a say as to what type of story should be put forward. when you're an actor, you're so used to someone saying, stand here, move here, say this like this, do this like this, look like this, be like this. No, you're not right. You're too thin. You're too small. You're too dark. You're too, and then it starts to play in your mind where you're like, okay, I could easily do this role, but I have to convince so many other people that I can. So a lot of the times an actor will get to a certain point where they have a certain level of success or a certain income where they can start investing back into themselves. So they will then become a point where they're like, okay, I'm going to produce my own thing. And I know exactly who I want to be in it with me. And so like, producing is always the next level because on your way up, you've already met a number of directors and writers that you've seen their journey and you want to bring them in to create a story that's impactful to an audience that's always there but has always been forgotten.
That's clever. Utilizing the network or the relationships you've built along the way in your career to create something entirely new. So you mentioned earlier on, I just want to double tap because you mentioned the word, as a woman, whatever. Like, how is it for you as a Black woman, like, acting in the industry? It can be in any country. How's it? What's the experience? I'm trying to just maybe not spend too much time on it, but I'm like,
I'm just gonna
hear your thoughts.
Just really quickly. I think it is reflective of society. So there's a hierarchy in society, and everybody knows this. And anyone that pretends that it doesn't exist, I don't know what world you're living in. But colorism comes into play a lot. Racism comes into play. It is changing. There's a lot of improvements, but there's also certain roles there's certain chances, certain roles that a Black woman has, a Black actress has, and it's difficult sometimes because you have to be very strong and understand that it's not necessarily you, it's just the situation and the industry.
Have you had any personal experiences of like being limited to a role or an opportunity because of the color of your skin, Anniwaa?
Yes, I have. Okay. There's been a lot of times.
Did I really?
Hey guys, this is Adrian from the Sound of Accra podcast. I hope you're enjoying this episode. It's just a quick announcement. Now, have you guys been thinking about starting a podcast? I know everyone is starting a new podcast these days, but there's a very, very good reason why everyone is starting their podcast. Now, if you're thinking of starting, launching, growing, and monetizing your own podcast, I'm here to let you know that I am now helping hundreds of podcasters around the world to do just that. And I've been doing just that for many years now. So if you're interested in learning how to start, launch, and grow your own podcast and get a piece of the pie of the podcasting world and to be able to launch your own authority, launch your own brand, monetize, create a business, and so on and so forth, please do get in touch. Head over to A2Zpodcasting.com and learn more about how we can support you and your podcasting goals.
Did I go to a specific area, emotional area?
Yeah, I mean, like, there's been a lot of times where I've gone up for a role, and because I'm a dark-skinned woman, there's an assumption that I'm not soft, I can't be vulnerable. I always have to be very strong, very militant, or very like silly or jovial. There's not really anything where I'm just a woman that's just trying to figure out life. It's always like a role where I already know where I'm going and what I'm doing. Okay. And as people, we're not all like that.
Yeah. How's it made you feel when there's maybe a role or opportunities come up in the industry and you haven't been able to do it because of what you look like?
I think at this point, I'm so used to it, which is why I decided to create my own content now.
Yeah. I think this is the day and age that we're in now, where people are creating content, they're selling it to the platforms. I mean, all the Netflix and Amazon Prime Video, all these other platforms, Hulu, you name it, Apple Plus TV. is that they're just like a mediator, right? You
Yeah,
can go
exactly.
now. It's a great opportunity now. Now you can go straight to the source and just pitch your product to them, rather than having to kind of like go through all of the motions and, you know.
But even when you're going straight to the source, there's still a lot of gatekeepers.
100%. Yeah.
You know, and it's better now.
Yeah. But
there's still some way to go, I think.
Absolutely. Yeah, but I think in this generation where you can create your own content and actually charge people for it up front, have your own platform, charge people for it. Yeah. It's fantastic. So I mean, it's more, I see it more with YouTubers and stuff, but in terms of actors and people that want to write and produce, I mean, I see short films on YouTube, but I think maybe it's harder for them to kind of like monetize it. Yeah, because people rather like watch like YouTube type content. So that's an interesting one for real. That's an interesting one. Definitely is an interesting one as well. So you've definitely had a very interesting journey in terms of like your career. What would you say is how would you say, like, in terms of like TV and film, what would you say that is happening right now that's improving or changing the narrative of how TV and films are?
I think there's more Black female writers that are out there that are being commissioned, that are telling interesting stories. And I also think that people, actors, creatives are less inclined to not say anything anymore. They're more inclined to highlight certain things like, you know, colorism, you know, narratives that are very stereotypical. People speaking out a lot more, and the power of social media as well. That's
a very good point, because you're seeing a lot more people speak out on social media, and, you know, a lot more voices are being heard as well. That's kind of like changing things as well. Honestly, and I think there's been certain movies or films where maybe this person was going to be this particular character, and then people like complained about it, and then they made a change.
Exactly.
Yeah, even something as small as, I think, Sonic the Hedgehog. I think Sonic the Hedgehog was coming out, and I think like the Sonic community, because I'm a Sonic fan, and the kid in me is a Sonic fan. And I think the Sonic community, like, they air their opinions, and then they ended up changing either the voice of an actor or I think it was how Sonic looked like, in a sense. So I think with the day and age of social media, like, I think it's a great opportunity also for people that produce and writing, directing films, that they put out a teaser or trailer, and then people don't like it, then they will
talk about it, and then they will quickly remove it, and because they understand, like, you know, with Black Panther, they understand that the community, when we back something, it does very well, like financially, and now they want to ensure that we're pleased as well, you know. Whereas before, I think it was kind of like, oh, whatever, doesn't matter. Where like now, it's important because we're lucrative. I feel like in terms of social, popular culture, what's cool, what's happening, is very reliant on the Black community at the moment.
True, very true. If you were to like be in like a dream role, what kind of film and what would that look like?
My dream role, it would actually be Yaa Asantewaa.
Really?
Yeah. I want to play Yaa Asantewaa.
Has there been some films and productions made around Yaa Asantewaa?
Not yet.
Not really.
Not yet.
Yeah, same thing as Kwame Nkrumah. We've talked about.
But that is a role.
Yeah.
Since I was a kid, I've always wanted to play that.
Do you think it will be like a Black Panther type film or Woman King type film if that came out? Even better.
It would be even better.
Yeah.
It would be even better.
Yeah. I feel like it's a Hollywood type film. If they made it, they can make it look really, really good. But at the same time, like, you want to have the Africans.
And that's why I said it would be even better, because the creatives that write it with Yaa Asantewaa, it would be fantastic if it was led by Ghanaian writers.
100%.
And then they had additional writers.
That'd be a good one. I could see you doing that. I haven't watched any of your acting gigs, but I can see you doing that really well, just from speaking to you, you know, off set.
Yeah.
I can see you doing
that well. That's my dream role, to be honest.
I can definitely see you, you know. So what do you want to do, like, in the future? Like, I mean, what where you heading towards? Like, do you want to like fully establish yourself as an actor, or do you want to like move into producing, directing?
I'm already established as an actor.
Okay. Or okay, maybe I should rephrase that. Maybe like, do you want to like be like a superstar, or do you want to just like work
with
on
me,
different
it's about the
things?
work.
Because everyone's different.
Yeah, with me, it's about the work.
Okay.
If I wanted fame,
Yeah.
if I wanted just fame, I would have just taken off my clothes and just
100%.
Do you know what I mean?
Yeah,
it's always been about the work, the craft, the stories that I'm trying to tell,
Yeah.
the audiences that I'm trying to target.
Mm-hmm.
So I go with the stories,
Mm-hmm.
and if I have the power and the means to produce, to bring more people on, to ensure that there's more people that are able to get their foot in the door, that's what I'm going to do. Because for me, it's about bringing the whole village, not just an individual.
Just an individual, yeah. Okay, so you're more into like staying true to yourself and being able to pursue what you want to do in the acting industry, or in the film industry, or the TV industry, rather than just taking any kind of role or doing anything just to kind of make it to the top.
Yeah.
Which is it's a notable path. It's a notable path, and I do admire it.
Because when you've been in the industry for a while, you have to be very specific. There's power in saying yes. There's also power in saying no. Just know when to do it. You know, and everyone has space to grow. Everyone has space to have that opportunity. Yeah,
I feel like there's lots of people that have compromised in this industry to get to where they are. Have you felt temptations or pressures to kind of like compromise in any kind of way, shape, or form?
Like Harvey Weinstein kind of way, like.
I mean, maybe that's a bit too extreme, but in any way, shape, or form, have you felt like pressures or
I've felt, definitely.
I'm sure there must be must be common, right?
Pressures in terms of like aesthetically, pressures in terms of like playing certain roles, you know, playing slave roles and saying no to that, because I just feel like, how many slave films have we had? And what does it, how can I put it? At this point, I think we need to move in a direction where it's telling a different story about a situation. And that's something that I believe Woman King did really well.
Yeah, I haven't seen that film in all honesty. I've seen Black Panther 2, but I haven't seen Woman King.
Woman King is great.
I have an idea of what it's like. Yeah, I have an idea of what it's like, but I haven't seen it. But I'm sure it must be good from a production.
Yeah, it's fantastic.
Production point of view, yeah. So, what would you say is like some of the achievements and awards that you've made? Like any kind of key awards, achievements you picked up along the way in your career?
Yeah, I mean, I think my major achievement is producing the short film Moon Over Aburi in Ghana. Like I always wanted to create a film here. I had friends that had tried before and it was never successful for them. So doing it here, starting it here, I was a bit nervous. I was a bit scared, and I worked with amazing people here, like the cast, the crew, absolutely amazing. And what we've achieved together is very beautiful. And I'm really excited at some point for everyone to see it.
Yeah, I would love to see it. I mean, there's one or two films, grassroots films, that I've seen in the cinema in Ghana.
Yeah.
And now I think one is finally coming onto Netflix, which is quite interesting.
That's good.
The one with what's this guy called? Ajite. What's his name? What's his full name? I can't remember his name. I think he was Tic Tac in one of these TV shows back in the day. I can't remember his full name.
Good.
Yeah, I think But anyway, it's just really good to see a lot more films and TV shows and short films just getting the recognition it deserves. I can't wait to see it. If I get the opportunity to see it.
Yeah.
I really, really can't. And what's the next thing I wanted to ask you? So, in terms of what you want to do, like in 2023, what does that look like?
Oh, it's already really busy. It's already really busy. So I actually want to film like 2 more documentaries that I have up my sleeve. So I want to film 2 more documentaries. Of course, Moon Over Aburi is doing the festival circuit, so I'm doing a lot of traveling with that. I am also going to be working on a festival in the UK, in London, for Black creatives.
Wonderful.
And I'm also hosting I'm being a part of a female filmmaker event at the Barbican in London to discuss my film Saying But Different. So the first quarter is packed.
Yeah, you're busy, man.
And then when I get towards the end of the first quarter, then I start to look at the second quarter.
Okay, then you'll start to look at what opportunities you want to pursue.
Yeah, take each day as it comes.
Wonderful. What's your favorite film? Do you have one?
Ooh,
Is that a trick question?
that's such a trick question, Adrian.
Okay, who's your favorite actor?
Again,
It's a trick question as well.
It's a trick question.
TV show?
I have so many. The way I watch things.
Okay, maybe you can name some.
Okay.
Holby City?
No. My favorite film.
Mhm.
I really like Requiem of a Dream.
Mhm.
I really also like Do the Right Thing.
Yeah, I've seen bits of it. It's powerful.
Do the Right Thing, and
I think it's based in the 90s or 80s.
Yeah,
is it
in the
Harlem,
90s.
Harlem or something like that?
Yeah.
Yeah.
No, Brooklyn.
Brooklyn, that's it. Yeah, one of the parts of New York. Yeah.
And in terms of TV shows, I've got so many.
Yeah. If there's any in your head, feel free to share. Otherwise, I guess we can skip it.
TV shows, I would say that I watched recently. Do you know what I watched recently, which I really like, is Blood and Water.
Blood and Water?
Yeah, it's a South African series.
Okay.
That one's really good.
Mm.
And I haven't started it yet, but I've heard really great things by it. Succession.
Succession. Mm. Where is it?
HBO.
HBO. What's it about, do you know?
It's about a family, very wealthy family, and I think it's like a media mogul, and he is, I think, retiring or something, and he's handing over to his family, the business.
Wow.
But he has a number of children that they need to, you know. So it's I think about sibling rivalry and stuff. It sounds very King Lear to me, basically.
Yeah. No, it sounds like a really good plot, like a good storyline as well. I would love to watch something like that. It sounds exciting because it's like a level of anticipation. What's going to happen? How they're going to take to it? You know, are they going to live up to the pressure and all that kind of stuff? What's your favorite genre of movie or film? I mean, to act in or to.
I love thrillers. I love thrillers. I love action.
Okay.
And I also like biopics. I like to sit down and watch biopics. Like the Ray Charles biopic is absolutely
Yeah.
Yeah.
You love that one?
Yeah, that one's really, really good.
Yeah.
Really good.
Which one do I like? I mean, what's this one? Not £7.
And sorry,
Pursue Happiness. I always love that one. Yeah.
Tina Turner.
Yeah. I can see you probably doing that.
Angela Bassett, Tina Turner.
It's good. I haven't seen it.
I haven't
seen it. No.
That film's really good.
I haven't seen it. There's a few really good biopics out there. I think biopics, like the storylines are so powerful as well. Yeah. So biopics, they like films like real life. Are they films based on true story?
They're films based on true story. Yeah.
I really like
and real people, real life people.
Real life people. Yeah. I really like the Serena Venus Williams one.
I haven't seen that one yet.
That was powerful. Yeah. I can't remember what it's called, but yeah, I really enjoyed that one as well.
King Richard.
That's it. King Richard. She knows it. No. Yeah. You know it. Okay, so if I mention the word Accra to you, what thoughts, vibes, feelings come to mind?
If you say that.
If I mention the word Accra to you, what thoughts, vibes, or feelings come to mind?
Enjoyment.
Yeah, just enjoyment.
Enjoyment. Heat. Palm wine. Pineapple.
Just blaring out words. Yeah.
Just wholeheartedness, fulfillment, vibrancy. Yeah.
Okay. Where do you want to be in 5 years in terms of your acting, producing, production, creating legacy? What 5-10 years, what would you want to be?
I would like to have my own production company,
Mm-hmm.
and I want my production company to also be based here,
Wonderful.
focusing on producing TV content based in Africa,
Wonderful.
primarily in Ghana, which streams on Netflix or either Amazon. And I want to be in a situation where I also live in Ghana, like at least 6 months of the year, live in the US for 3 months, and then live in the UK for 3 months.
Where can everyone find you?
You can find me at www.anniwaabuachie.com or on my socials, which is at Anniwaa Buachie, ANNIWAA BUACHIE. That's where you can find me.
Wonderful. Well, there you have it, guys. Anniwaa Buachie on the Sound of Accra podcast. What tips would you give to aspiring actors, producers, directors, etc.? Real quick.
Just stay focused. Write down everything that you find interesting, because it might be a story of film or something you would like to share later. And there's always room for another story, another perspective.
Wonderful. Well, sweet and short. There you have it, guys. So there you have it, guys. Anniwaa Buachie, actor, writer, producer. She does it all. You can get all of the links, references, all the nuggets and the gems and the wisdom by heading over to thesoundofaccra.com/Anniwaa. That's ANNIWAA. I think I've got it.
Yeah.
And yeah, on your way out, hit like, share it, leave us a comment, let us know what you think of this episode. And if you're listening on Apple, Spotify, please give us a 5-star review. It does more than you know. And we'll see you in the next episode. Thank you so much.
Hey guys, this is Adrian from the Sound of Accra podcast. I hope you guys enjoying this episode. It's just a quick announcement. Now, those of you who may have been watching or following the podcast for quite some time now, I would like to hear from you. What do you think of our podcast? What topics do you want to hear from us more? What guests do you want to see? What kind of episodes would you like to see or hear? Please let us know. Drop an email to info@thesoundofaccra.com or fill out a short form in the description below, and me and the team will get in touch with you. Also, if you would like to sponsor future seasons, please do get in touch. Info@thesoundofaccra.com, or we'll drop a form in the description below, and we will be able to share some information and our decks in terms of how you can get involved in sponsoring a season. And finally, we're working on a paid private community where like-minded Ghanaian creators, entrepreneurs, and even others from the greater African diaspora can come together and up-level themselves as an entrepreneur, as a creative, as a creator, or as an authority in the industry, learning how they can, do better in their fields. Drop us an email, info@thesoundofaccra, or fill out the short form below, and you'll get more information about that coming soon in 2023. Thank you for watching. See ya.